Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tyngsborough TV Live. This is the Friday edition of Tyngsborough TV Live. This is part of the wrap-up. So the wrap-up actually starts at 11 o'clock, but I have a special guest this morning that wanted to talk about a very specific and important subject that you all should be aware of. Daylight savings time is coming up, so with that is time to change your smoke detector batteries. So Deputy Chief Pat Sands is here. How you doing, Chief?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Thanks for coming on today. So he's going to talk to us about the reasons why we should change the smoke detector batteries in not only your smoke detectors, but in any carbon monoxide detectors if you don't have the combination ones. And in fact, we had kind of an interesting story. One of my media associates here had an incident with carbon monoxide just this morning, so thankfully they had changed their batteries and they worked. But let me ask you this, Pat, just to start it off. So first of all, we kind of all know why we should change them, because we want the smoke detectors to work. If you have hardwired smoke detectors, do you still have to change the batteries?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yeah, so the batteries have a life on them.
Okay.
You know, and they go, and if the battery starts dying, you're going to have an annoying chirp on the...
I hate that chirp.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
On the smoke detectors.
Yeah.
So, you know, rule of thumb is to change the batteries when you turn the clocks ahead and when you turn the clocks back.
Okay,
in the
so
fall.
every 6 months, basically.
Every 6 months.
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that seems like about the lifespan of a battery that's sitting kind of being drained slightly, but for the most part dormant. It's not like it's going to use the battery unless the power
and
goes
then,
out.
you know, obviously, you know, we lose power quite often around here.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and those batteries...
that doesn't happen around
the batteries will... they'll die quicker.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's important to change the batteries. And, you know, it can get expensive because some of the newer homes with the newer regulations have, you know, in the size of the home, you could have, you know, 10 or 12 detectors in the house.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, because you know, with the new regulations, you have detectors outside of bedrooms and inside bedrooms.
Okay.
You know, so if you have a 4-bedroom house, you could have, you know, on one floor, 5 detectors.
Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah.
I forgot to mention, too, really quickly, if you guys are watching on either Facebook or YouTube, feel free to chime in and ask questions. And don't forget, you can watch this program on a whole bunch of different places. So all the pages that we shared on Facebook, our YouTube channel, also at tyngsboroughma.gov, and on Comcast 8 and Verizon 29 here in town. So you can watch us a bunch of different ways. Let me ask you this. So what are the rules on smoke detectors? So, like, say I have an old home that I'm renovating. Do I have to add smoke detectors into the system?
It depends on the level of the renovation, and that's driven by the building code.
Okay.
There's, you know, in Massachusetts, it's quite confusing. There's 5 different regulations depending on when the house was built or when the house was significantly renovated.
Oh, okay.
So, not going into it all right now, on our website, there's a link on tyngsboroughfire.com. There's a link to the requirements of Massachusetts smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector regulations. If you go to, on the tab right there, if you go to permits, then you click on permits.
Racim's going to click through for us.
Yeah. If you click on permits and then you scroll down right to the right-hand side there, you'll see a smoke detector, like a cartoon.
Oh, okay.
If you just
and that'll give you
hover
all
the
the
cursor over the top of that and click on that, and that gives you all the regulations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and just scroll down, and it's all right there. You can also go to the Department of Fire Services website, which is mass.gov/DFS.
Okay. In general terms, how many smoke detectors would you expect? Like, is there going to be? My understanding is there's one in every bedroom, right?
Well,
generally one in the hallway.
So if your house was built before 1998, you wouldn't have smoke detectors in the bedrooms. You know, there's a regulation out there that most people don't know about, and smoke detectors have a lifespan of only 10 years. So if you have a smoke detector or carbon monoxide detector that's over 10 years old, it needs to be replaced because they won't necessarily work after that. So the best way is to take the detector down and look on the back, and it'll give you the manufacturer's date.
Okay.
So 10 years.
So they have a shelf life.
They do.
I did not know this.
Yep,
okay, I didn't realize this. That actually explains when we sold our house a couple of years ago. The smoke detectors, we put them in because we'd renovated.
Yeah.
We put them in, all hardwired in, and when we sold, it was about 10 years later, they actually had us change all those smokes. That actually makes sense now, thinking about that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now I understand that.
You know, and every house in Massachusetts needs to have smoke detectors. It's a law.
Yeah.
And carbon monoxide detectors if you have a fuel burning heating system, whether it's oil or propane or natural gas.
Oh, okay.
If your heating system is electric, you don't need to have
you don't have
carbon monoxide. You don't have to have carbon monoxide detectors.
Okay.
Right? But if you have any device in the house, whether it be a stove or a furnace or anything that uses oil, natural gas, or propane to fuel it, you need to have carbon monoxide detectors.
Okay.
If you have an attached garage, you also need to have carbon monoxide detectors in the house. And that's a law. And
that's, I imagine, for cars being left running so that if the fumes come up?
Yeah, the fumes.
Or if the car catches fire?
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, same thing.
Okay.
But the car exhaust produces carbon monoxide.
Okay. Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Very fascinating. There's actually quite a bit. I guess what about... how's the technology kind of evolved, I guess, in terms of, I imagine originally we just had smoke detectors. Now there's the carbon monoxide detectors has been the last decade or so that they've been coming out?
Since you've always had, not always, but you've had carbon monoxide detectors, but you know, the technology has gotten much better.
Okay. Right, because there was a lot of false positives, from what I remember. Yeah.
There's the technology for the smoke detectors is ionization type and photoelectric type.
Okay.
The ionization type is geared more towards open or flaming fires, where the photoelectric detects the smoldering fire better than the ionization. And, you know,
okay.
With ionization, you get a lot of false alarms also, like outside of a bathroom because of the steam. It would assume it's a fire with the ionization, but you won't get that false with a photoelectric type.
So is that a way to mitigate, like I have a smoke detector in my kitchen that we actually had to disconnect because anytime we turned the oven on, it would just start going off and beeping, obviously, throughout the whole house.
Right.
So is that a way you'd use the photoelectric versus the...
Typically, you don't have a detector in a kitchen.
It's actually in the hallway just next to the kitchen.
So most likely it's an ionization type that you would swap out for photoelectric.
Okay, interesting. All right. And is there a rhyme or reason for that? We mentioned the beeping when the batteries start to go. Is there a way to figure out? Because I've spent, maybe some of you guys at home have had the same problem, like literally hours trying to find the stupid one that's beeping. And it only does it intermittently. It's not like it sits there.
It's like every minute, or it depends on it could be every 30 seconds. It could be every 2 minutes.
Mine seem like they're whenever I'm not looking at it. I'm standing next to another one, and it'll go off, and then I'm like, wait, which one was that?
Yeah, it's tough to be able to, but you'll know which detector it is when it actually alarms, because there'll be either a solid red light or a very quickly blinking red light.
Oh, so look for the light. Okay, that would help. Okay, yeah. And you said 10 years is the shelf life for these.
Yeah,
so
they're over than 10 years old.
Okay,
you need to replace them.
Is it something that we as homeowners, if we live in a house for 30 years, that we have to watch and maintain, or will the fire department at some point or somebody say, hey, it's been 10 years, you have to change your smoke detectors?
Yeah, we don't. We get into checking smoke detectors on resale. When your house goes for resale, transfer of sale, there's a Mass General law that we have to go in there and give you a compliance certificate. So, if you've been in your house for 20 years, we don't keep track that your house is 20 years old and you've never changed your smoke detectors. But it is really the responsibility of the homeowner to do that.
So it's on us.
Yeah, it's on you, and everybody. Not a lot of people know that, so hopefully this gets out and people see that and understand that they should check their smoke detectors.
That was kind of why I was asking the question, because I feel like that's something I found out about it when we sold our house. I mean, I always knew to change the batteries and stuff like that, but I never really thought about, I should probably change my smoke detectors after 10 years, which I think I have one at my house now that I have to change.
The thing is about the smoke detectors, there's a plug.
Yeah.
And you really can just take the smoke detector off and unplug it and then get a new smoke detector and match it up with the plug. But if you have to actually rewire it, you should hire a licensed electrician. Okay. Because, if you don't know what you're doing, you could cause a bigger problem than
that's like anything.
Right.
Yeah. Don't play plumber if you've never done any plumbing.
Right.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah,
exactly.
So, but it is a fairly, if you did want to try to tackle it yourself, it's 3 wires, so it's a fairly simple-ish job.
Again,
if you can match colors, but we obviously
I don't recommend rewiring something, but if just unplugging it and plugging in a new one, then that's your typical homeowner can do that. But I wouldn't recommend wiring it.
Okay, is that something you'd need a permit for if you're going to do those? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're rewiring.
If you're rewiring, right? That's what I was asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're just simply replacing a detector with a plug, you don't need a permit for that.
Okay. And suggestions on do you have any suggestions on like the best units or the ones you've had the least issues with maybe?
No, we really don't have many issues. There's all good products out there.
Okay.
BRK is a good product. First Alert, Kitty.
Yeah, First Alert, right?
Yeah, they're all good products.
Okay, those are the ones I see in the home stores usually,
Right.
Home Depot and Lowe's and whatever. So, okay. Any other safety tips or suggestions for folks in thinking about this?
We do have a program for the elderly and people that can't do the battery changes themselves. They can call the station and we'll give them an assistance replacing the batteries.
Okay, that's excellent.
And
right, because they're up on the ceiling, so it'd be tough to get to.
They need to provide the batteries, but we'll go over there and help them out. And again, it's geared more towards the elderly and people that can't climb ladders.
Okay. All right. So I guess the big takeaways from this are every 6 months, whenever we change the clocks, you should remember to change the batteries. I feel like that this has been repeated a lot, so I think a lot of people have heard this before. But at the same time, there's probably a lot of people who don't, maybe new homeowners and so on, who don't know about this stuff.
Yeah.
But also in thinking about the replacement schedule of the units themselves, every 10 years, you said that's their shelf life of when they should be switched out. Luckily, they're not that expensive either. I mean, they're $20-ish a unit or so.
Yeah, the combos that we mentioned, that the combination smoke detector and carbon monoxide detectors, they get a little pricey. They could be $45 to $50.
Okay, all right, yeah. But you don't need, not every smoke detector has to be a combo, correct?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It does not.
Is it just like one per floor, I think I've heard?
The combos?
Right? Yeah.
It's easier because then you don't have to buy a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector, where you're going to spend $20, $25 on each.
Okay.
If you buy one unit, then you don't have two ugly smoke detectors sitting on your ceiling also.
Yeah.
You know, they do have another product which is the 10-year sealed battery. So after 10 years, the battery just dies.
Oh.
And you have to replace the detector.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's interesting. So, but as far as the carbon or a carbon monoxide detector itself or a combination, do you need one per floor or do you need multiple?
So you need a carbon monoxide detector on every floor.
Okay.
And in the basement, if you have an attached garage.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
And if you have fossil fuel or fuel burning equipment.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Very good. So,
but you don't put carbon monoxide detectors in garages.
You don't put them in the garage.
You do not put them in the garage because you'll get false alarms every single time you start your car.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. That would be annoying.
So just in the living areas.
Okay. That makes sense. So there you go. All right. That's some good info. So if you guys have any questions, Tyngsborough Fire Department, Raysom, do you want to throw their website up real quick? We could just show that again on screen.
Yeah. Also visit us on our Facebook page.
Yep. Yep. You guys are on Facebook. You're very modern nowadays. I like that.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. We have a good man, Lieutenant Brad, that handles all our.
He does a good job. Yes.
Social media. Yeah. Yes, he does.
Cool. Yeah. So go to Tyngsboroughfire.com. And what was the other website you said? The state website?
Yeah. So that's mass.gov/DFS, and DFS stands for Department of Fire Services.
Okay. So there you go. You can get all the information you need. Remember to change your smoke detector batteries every 6 months with the time change. It only costs you a few bucks because you just got to buy some 9 volts, or generally they're 9 volts right now, or some are AA, I think. But and then every 10-ish years, change your detectors out altogether. And they won't stop working after 10 years.
Not necessarily, but you'll get some false alarms.
Okay. It's just the matter of will they trip or not.
There's a potential of them not working.
Okay.
After that 10-year period.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or give me a call at the station. I'm there 5 days a week, so I'll get right back to you.
Excellent.
If you have any questions at all or concerns.
One last question.
Sure.
And I've noticed this. Don't switch, Rayson. I got it here. Thank you. Painting. So I've seen people do this where they actually paint over the smoke detector. I know from looking at the thing itself, it says "do not paint" right on it. So.
Right.
Do you see that a lot? People that paint the
not often.
Units? No,
not often. You see them in apartments.
Okay.
Sometimes when you go in there and they just spray everything, and you make them change it because if there's paint on it, it's not going to work properly.
Right, and that's why they say not to paint it. So just so everybody knows, don't paint your smoke detectors because then you've ruined it. And now you have to replace it.
Correct.
So you have one that's not, because it fills in the little holes.
Exactly.
Whatever, I imagine.
The sensors get painted. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, which is bad. So you don't want that. So be safe. Change your smoke detectors, smoke detector batteries every 6 months, and then every 10 years.
Yep.
Check and make sure they're still working, and then probably change them out. And depending on if you can find one that has a matching plug, like you mentioned.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it.
Plug it in, swap it out, or you might have to have an electrician come through and do some wiring. But it's worth it for the safety of yourself and your family. So I know I certainly wouldn't want to have a house without smoke detectors. That's
absolutely.
For sure.
And if you have a question on placement, certainly email me, call me. I'll come over there. I'll help you out. you know, anything you need.
Excellent. All right. So you can see Pat's smiling face standing in your doorway, and he'll help you figure out where to put your smoke detector. So thank you, Pat, for coming on and talking about this
Thanks
today.
for having me.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Anytime you guys want to come on, feel free. Let me know.
I think Brad's going to set something up with you to do a monthly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah. We've been trying.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes in schedules and so on. But anyways,
sure.
But yeah, no, you're right. We're going to have him on again soon to talk about some stuff. So any questions? Tyngsboroughfire.com. You can also go to the state's website that we mentioned. I'll put that information in the description of this video, so you can go right to those. And obviously, you can call the fire department directly. They'll help you.
Email me directly.
Email Pat Sands directly. And you guys will also help with seniors that have trouble getting up to. Or people who can't climb ladders in general, getting up and changing the batteries and stuff like that. So excellent. Thank you very much for that service. That's really awesome.
You're welcome.
All right. That does it for this video. I will be back in about a half hour with our interview with Dr. Michael Flanagan, talking about the school department, and then another interview later on today with Chaz Dowdy from the Master Plan Committee, and then also another one over at a tour of a couple of historic buildings here in town, in the town center, that you'll get to see on video. So pretty cool stuff. So take it easy, everybody. Have a good day, and I will see you all later. Bye.